There are so many different ways of making a frittata, and this one's quite special because I'm not only going to make just a delicious zucchini frittata, but in the centre of it there'll be a little surprise of ham and cheese. Now I want to use a fantastic melting cheese, and that's scamozza. It's got a beautiful smoked flavour to it too. Now we start by roasting our vegetables. So one large onion I'll place onto a baking tray. Just spread out those vegetables. I like to roast them just to really get as much flavour out of them as possible, and the onions are going to become quite sweet after a nice roast. So 3 medium-sized zucchini, we'll take the tops off, and I just want to cut these into rounds, not too thin. We'll say about 1/2 centimetre to 1 centimetre, and this is the easiest way to do it. Line them up and then slice. Now, I'm using zucchini for this, but I've also done it with some roast capsicum. That's a fantastic option. You could also do this with some leftover roast vegetables like parsnip, pumpkin and carrots, and then use that to make this frittata. So a real economical dish to do. And like I said, not just your average frittata with that little surprise in the centre of the ham and the cheese. So this looks like quite a lot, but it does cook down. So we'll place this onto our tray, just scatter it around the onions, mix it up a bit. I've preheated my oven to 180 degrees, and we'll roast this for about 15 to 20 minutes or until the zucchini are tender and we've got some colour on our onions. Before it goes into our oven, a good glug of olive oil just to get them nice and golden, and also a pinch of salt. Give that a bit of a jiggle. Okay, into the oven. Okay, while the vegetables are cooking, let's get onto the eggs. This is the glue that's going to stick it all together. 4 eggs will crack into a bowl. This is a frittata that's not so eggy. I actually don't like a real eggy frittata, would you believe, even though it is an egg dish. I kind of like it to be sort of like the sticking agent to all the beautiful vegetables and the cheese and ham. So we don't have to overdo the egg quantity. A tiny pinch of salt, not too much, because don't forget we have some ham in there which is salty, and of course the cheeses. I'll also add some parmesan, that's also salty, so a good amount of parmesan, about a tablespoon or so. And I love to add breadcrumbs. Now this is day-old bread, so just old sourdough, and it's fantastic for this because it's just going to soak up any moisture that we're going to get from the vegetables. So I'll just grab a fork and I'll break up those eggs. Give that a whisk, and all we need to do now is wait for those vegetables to come out of the oven. I'll cool them slightly before we add them to this mixture. Zucchini, onion are cooked, so now we can place them into our mixture. Be sure to cool that down, because if we add hot zucchini and hot onions to an egg mixture, what happens is it'll start to turn into scrambled eggs, and we don't want that. So cool it down and just scrape that in. And yes, it does look like way too many vegetables for that amount of egg, but I assure you it works a treat. So we'll grab our fork again and just fold everything together. And that, just baked away, would be absolutely delicious, right? But just you wait and see what I'm going to be doing now. So just grab any baking dish of your choice. I'm using something that's a bit non-stick to make it easier to slice at the end. Just get your hands in there and just spread out some olive oil just all the way up the sides too. I'll grab half of this mixture and we're going to pour it in. It's about half. And spread that out so it completely covers the base of our dish. And now for the scamozza. I love this cheese. I could just eat it as is, but it's even better when it starts to melt because it's going to get stringy and gooey. So we'll just open that up. And you can see that sort of orangey colour. That's from the natural wood that's been used to smoke this gorgeous cheese. And I'm going to cut this into thin rounds. Okay, so you want about 150 to 200 grams. It really depends on how cheesy you want this frittata. And we want enough to completely coat the top of that frittata mixture. Now we'll grab our cheese, and just working from the outside in, we're just going to layer the cheese around. Okay, fantastic. And now for some ham. This is totally optional. If you want to keep it vegetarian, you can just omit the ham, or you can go all out and have all different types of ham. I'm just using some double smoked. You could use some prosciutto if you like. Even some mortadella would be a treat too. Okay, so nice thin slices, one layer. You don't want too much of it because you don't want it to overpower the cheese. You want everything to work in harmony together. So one last little bit, fantastic. And then we simply have to cover this in our remaining zucchini mixture. So pour that over the top, scraping down the edges, and using our spatula, I'm just going to spread that all the way to the edges. Press down on it. Great, now this goes into the oven, 180 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes or until it's puffed up and golden. Frittata is out of the oven, it's set perfectly. Do allow it to cool slightly and let's flip it. So I've got a large plate, pop that on top. It's still slightly warm, so we're just gonna turn that over and hopefully it's detached. Let's have a look. Ooh, it has. Now I love the other side of this, so we'll grab another plate. You don't have to do this, but I kind of like that sort of golden, crisp zucchini top. Yeah, that looks better on that side. And there you have it. Now, it's all about the interior, that scamozza. So let's slice into this and have a look. And nice big chunky bit. And let's have a look at that. Ooh, see how gooey that is in the center? I told you it's not your average frittata. This is like the ultimate frittata with the ham and the cheese there. And I would serve that with a simple salad if you like, or just as is, so you can really enjoy those flavors of the sweet zucchini and that smoked mozzarella. I've got to have a taste of this. I don't think I can make frittata the normal way anymore. It's always got to be stuffed with scamozza.